I don't know how to write an intro for this video. I hit 5,000 subscribers, I asked you people to ask me things. Now I'll do the thing people do with questions. I'm gonna, answer. I tried to answer all of the questions that were submitted, but if there was something I just didn't have anything to add to, I didn't include it. I decided to split the video into 4 parts based on topic: adverb-related questions, fan project-related questions, miscellaneous questions, and then some goofs at the end. No further ado, because oh my god, I'm gonna yap for so long. Ready? Let's do this. Kiri Kakemono asks, funnest status to make in APANPN? Probably status 7. I never really cared for status 6 one way or the other. Status 5 was pretty fun, but Rune's withdrawal from the album complicated things a little, and throughout 1 to 4 I was constantly trying to make ends meet because there weren't enough submissions for it yet. The exception was J side. That thing went like a dream, and if you would ask me the funnest APANPN side to make, I might answer J. Hello, I'm H asks, what is your favorite cover of APANPN? I don't think I can give you one specific answer, but some of the ones I personally really like are the F7 cover, the I-side cover, specifically I06 and I11, the J1 opening cover, the new S1 cover, the new Bliss variant of U1's cover, and of course the new Outhouse cover. Hartany asks, what would be your advice for making an APANPN-inspired project? I need this for something I'm planning. Skibbity. Don't. On a real note, what I mean by that is don't try to make it serious. I tried to do that and it kinda just ended up being a massive headache. Tori Birdsong asks, will we do APANPN again in 10 years? No. Will we do APANPN CJD? No. In your opinion, what is the worst CT chord or FP chord inside joke other than Il Leviat? I really hate the joke where we just take fan project titles and make them about poop or farting. It's just annoying. Rob.com asks, what's your opinion on the APANPN fan project's trends that have been happening recently? I don't like it. I'm not very fond of projects that expand the 2021 remake checklist for APANPN, like Reincarnation, Different Universe, and Empty Bliss Beyond This World, etc. I won't stop you from making a meme-based album, please go ahead by all means, but make it your own thing. Don't try to connect it to APANPN or reference it in the title or covers and such. Careface asks, would you let people use your layers for individual layers videos? Yes, I will release the FL Studio projects files for PA tracks soon, trademark. Spade asks, what is your favorite part in APANPN that you made? I would say I10 or J6 noun posting, but those were actually both originally by Rune, so that doesn't feel right to claim as a part that I have made. So I really like I9, I think out of the first 3 statuses that's the best track I made, and in PA, maybe T1 Movement 4, although that is pretty basic in terms of sampling. Putting together my own Vine compilation for the finalized U1 was really worth it, that part turned out fantastic. And out of the TL, the hypest moment that also happens to have some cool sample use is the Soda bumper that goes into Save the World, harmonized with Once Upon a Time. Vaughn asks, what is something you regret during/after APANPN's production? Definitely the P1 bridge incident bumper. I should have removed that when I had the chance, but I didn't, and then in hindsight I realized I needed to go back and remove it. I'm specifically mentioning it here because I don't mean to sweep it under the rug. I fully own up to and apologize for my initial decision to keep it. On YouTube it's simply been cut out, but Epasnefilo made a new version of the bumper which you can listen to on the Bandcamp. Aside from that, well, I can easily see that in a couple of years I might grow to regret the album as a whole, because it's arguably an inherently questionable idea, but I think intent matters. And to me, it was simply a lighthearted idiot album that sampled memes. Mousehouse asks, have you ever thought to make a group project as large as APANPN again? No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 Squiddy Tentacles asks, how did you feel when APANPN got as popular as it did? It felt really nice. Genuinely, I'm the sort of person who's driven by that urge to be the center of attention, so finally getting that with Adverb was really fulfilling. What are your final thoughts and opinions on APANPN? Very happy with it. Maybe it's a bit too long, and I could see that in a few years I'd start to question whether it was in poor taste, but it's what it's. Jork Donkler asks, what project do you think of hosting after the ones in progress? I might low-key be done after Ioriadis and Tlantwi are finished. Or if they are finished. This shit takes so much time, and low-key I'm starting to feel like making original music instead. Though maybe there is one more project I'd start before I'm done. Satiosal Redux. Maybe though. Lightbulb asks, what was the fan project that really changed your perspective on what an FP should focus on? Lots of answers I could give here. VCJD made me realize that there's more to it than just cloning Idiot. Milwaukee Protocol made me realize how much you can make a fan project stand on its own. We Are Eternal showed me a bridge from fan project production into true plunderphonics. The Grand Decline showed me how different PA can be and how detailed a fan project story can get. Caretaker asks, what underrated fan project/fan project creators would you want to shout out? First of all, you. You make some cool shit that doesn't get nearly enough attention. I want everyone watching this who liked the weird sound design and APANPN post awareness to check out I Miss My Cat, CDK, Fat Soul Hair Take, or Neurons Yearning Action. Other than that, I don't listen to many fan projects in general, however I do want to shout out my friend Orson XD who makes Caretaker albums under the moniker The Emporium. He's really good at atmospheric tracks that evoke a lot of emotion. Mr. Boulder asks, what will you do after you leave the Caretaker fan project community one day? Original music, hopefully, if I don't suck absolute dick and balls at it. I'll also continue to make a GD level once every 3 years or something. That alongside all the other miscellaneous shenanigans I already get up to that currently delay my fan projects. And Bonio asks, what's your favorite art piece that has come from this community? Some contenders that come to mind are Abandon Me and the Complete Edition Hope cover, CTJD Records 8 and 9, Graby U1, and honestly, Emied Part 3. Squareboy asks, a bit of a loaded question, what's the best way to plan a fan project? My way of planning a fan project probably isn't the best. I just open up Notepad and start writing down a track list or a rough structure draft, and then the project just kind of springs up in my head. Squareboy again asks, what's your favorite fan project? In terms of the one I've invested the most of my brain space into, definitely the Grand Decline. I've got a PhD on that thing and I listen to it quite often. In terms of the one that has the most personal moments for me within it, definitely We Are Eternal. That shit is beautiful in parts 5 and 6. Then there's some nicher fan projects that I subjectively really like for one reason or another. The original Light and Darkness, for example. We've destroyed all the hope in this world by MOR aka Windows God for another. Dylan asks, what are your favorite and least favorite things about fan project and the fan project community? My favorite is that we're this fun little group of friends that all care about art and making things. My least favorite is that we're all teenagers and stupid drama keeps happening. Also the fact that at this genre's simplest, we just kinda steal music, and that's normalized. What driving force makes you inspired to continue making projects/finishing existing projects? I don't know, I just kinda make shit, TBH. I think my main desire is to experiment and do cooler things in the future. Do you have any FP cliches that you think get too much hate? Nostalgia bait. Yeah, I like hearing overly recognizable samples in my fan projects. I mean, I guess that's not surprising, I'm the guy who made Adverb. What are your plans for 2026/27? Original music, baby. And also make sure Ioriatus stays alive, because it was dire at one point. Orson XD asks, what was the moment in your FP making career where you finally realized you became well known in the community? It might have been when Phi made the APANPN fan art, the lobotomy-based Brainrot segment fan cover. That was a big WTF moment for me, and from that moment on, I really started to understand how fucking big APANPN had become. My guy asks, do you have any other ideas for future fan projects? I already talked about this. I think the last fan project that I'll ever begin is a redux of my third album, Satiotl, the Geometry-Idiot. I have ideas for it, but there's way too much going on currently to even think about starting it. Also, what is your favorite and least favorite track you've ever made? My favorite track I've made, assuming only things solo by me, definitely L1 from Atacat. I'm just so happy with how that thing ended up, and just how many of my own personal touches I was able to add to it. My one issue is that it maybe goes peaceful and gears up towards death a little bit too soon, but I kinda think it works just fine as is. Hilariously enough, going straight from my new remake of APMC to my old remake of APMC, I think my least favorite track I've ever made is probably on APMC The Return. I kind of despise that album the most in general, but the awareness is especially bad, because it was me at the absolute worst of my Audacity reverb phase. I can't decide on one specific bad track because they all suck almost equally for this reason. Mr. Boulder asks, which track you made are you the most indifferent on? That's an impossible question. There's dozens of middle-of-the-road stuff, and I can't choose the most middle-of-the-road. I suppose I could tell you which track I'm the most indifferent about relative to how much praise it has gotten, and in that case, probably APANPN I11. I get almost nothing out of it despite how much people like it. Nutsley asks, Smatwi. Chapter 5 has been in the works, but I haven't touched it in a good while. I'm working on other things. That's the issue, I have a million things I do, but I'll eventually circle back to Smatwi. Don't worry. Spade asks, what is your favorite type of PA to listen to? Mine is Clinical Stage 7. Yeah, mine is also Clinical Stage 7. Dark ambient is so fucking delicious. There's also like early transitory PA beats, like between clinical stage 4 and 5. Basically, if it's calm and ambient, I eat it up. ASD CAD I, did I pronounce that right? Asks 6 questions. Number 1, what are some interesting things about your home country of Czechia? We invented the word robot. It was specifically Karel Čapek in his stage play about the concept. Also, the Grand Decline features 2 Czech samples as far as I know, being 17-1 Intermezzo and the start of 12-7 Mori 6 from And the Sorrows Within. Number 2, have you done any research on the differences between typical and rapid onset Alzheimer's and how well... No, not really. Number 3, do you like the original or official remaster of APMC better, and why? Well, I'm gonna go stage by stage. Remastered Awareness is kind of just worse. Stage 4 is really good in both versions. Remastered Stage 5 is the best of APMC, while OG Stage 5 is the worst of APMC, and Stage 6 is moderately interesting in both. Number 4, between the original CJD and both of Mason's versions of APMC, which aged better and why? I think it's pretty clearly CJD with how much attention and remakes the community has given it, even if I personally always preferred APMC. Number 5. If you redid Atticat with more knowledge of transient ischemic attacks and rapid onset Alzheimer's, what would be different? I can't say since I don't fully understand what I did inaccurately. I got a surface level understanding, I had a cool idea based on that understanding, and I did that. I can't really be bothered to remake it again. Atticat is my definitive APMC take. That's what it was always supposed to be. Number 6. Why did you make Atticat's post-awareness, or at least G1, so different from APMC's, and why are none of the samples in G1 able to be picked out? I kind of tried to make the post-awareness similar, but G1 specifically was intended to be a sort of aftershock where it's at its worst. Mothball21 asks, are you gonna make more of those listening to insert fan project here be like videos? Probably not. There's only so many meme gifs I can think of, and I was already grasping at a lot of straws with the Idiot video. Upsilona asks, what fan projects that introduced you to the whole fan project community? It was the ones from Digital Saloon's video. But specifically, my very first one was the classic version of 8-Bon, and unsurprisingly, for that reason, it's really nostalgic to me. TY Hooligan asks, when did you discover the fan projects community and started making them? I discovered Idiot in January of 2022, and fan projects found me soon after that. The first project I ever made was Everywhere at the End of Geometry Dash, which was mainly inspired by Supra's Minecraft but it's Idiot. It was that allure of being able to make my own take on Idiot, which was shorter, based around my favorite game, and all the covers could be remakes of the originals. Monomini asks, what is the current state of Emied? I'm happy that you're interested in it. I started making part 4, but I wasn't very happy with it. I have a couple of ideas building up, but it's on the back burner for now. Jork Dongler asks, what is your favorite song inside of Caretaker Fan Project? We Are Eternal M2 So Much Love. That shit counters my existential dread. We Are Eternal Part 6 in general has some of the most personal moments to me, but M2 especially is just straight up enchanting for me. Awfully Fawfully asks, what is your favorite song outside of Caretaker Fan Project? Again, a lot of answers I could give here, though funnily enough, it's only very recently that I've been exploring other branches of music. For instance, I was introduced to Vivid Stasis in August, and that eventually led to me discovering one of the game's secret challenges. Minor spoilers, by the way, if you happen to care. Scarlet Death by Lexicat. It's this extreme electronic digital hardcore track which seems to portray a literal heart attack. At one point, I was so obsessed with it that I did that fan-made MV you might have seen me upload, and that has definitely calmed down my obsession with it. The track itself is a remix of Crimson Dance from Dark Blossom, which is a phenomenal Plunderphonics album about a messy transition process, with a bunch of other great songs. The one answer that I'd probably settle on right now is also by Lexicat, her vastly successful track Glitter. It has over 10 million views, and for a good reason. It's majestic and an infectious banger. Other than that though, I've also been enjoying the Ultrakill OST, and also with the Backrooms movie hitting theaters, I have finally fallen in love with Still Life, which received a re-rendition titled Old Home Not Yet Built, and it's some serious Ascendance shit. Speaking of the Backrooms movie, I have been listening to some Boards of Canada recently. I did enjoy a lot of Inferno, particularly Memory Death and the subsequent The Word Becomes Flesh, but I've also fallen in love with Gyroscope and Julie and Candy from GeoGaddy. Super2 asks, what is your biggest inspiration outside of Idiot and ambient music in general? One big inspiration for me is Bill Wurtz. That guy is like a walking manifestation of unbridled creativity, and I am jealous of it. But like, for every facet of myself there's a different inspiration. Technoblade was an inspiration for my sense of humor. Random T-Beg is an inspiration for the kind of music I'd like to make. Markiplier is an inspiration in how he endlessly destroys himself in pursuit of making better and better art. I can't give you one answer. Orson XD asks, what is your favorite food? Maybe tacos. I really like tacos. Specifically, soft shell, beef, shredded cheese, some other stuff, and salsa. I fucking love salsa. Not the Caretaker fan, the condiment. Dasher101 asks, what is your favorite GD level and what's your favorite country? My favorite GD level is probably Crazy 3. It was my first Insane Demon and my 60th Demon, and I mean, it's no secret that the level is just kind of peak in general. Lots of personality, fire deco, fire gameplay, and a cinematic boss fight. My favorite country, like, as in where would I like to live? Honestly, I'm kind of very happy being in Czechia. It's kind of peak around here, and I take myself very lucky to have been born here. I've considered what it would be like to live in other countries, like, Canada, that might be too cold. Netherlands seems really good if there wasn't like a 20% chance of it flooding due to climate change. Australia, too many spiders, I think. So yeah, I'm happy where I am. Squareboy asks, do you plan on going for a new hardest GD level? Probably not, at least not anytime soon. If I ever feel up to it, I'd really like to beat Congregation, even though the meme is already long dead. After that, I'd be done for good, maybe. But I'm not very interested in grinding skill in GD, and I haven't been for years now. Orson XD asks, will you ever reveal your secret YouTube channel? You could not get that shit out of me using a CIA torture method. Mr. Boulder asks, what is your favorite drink? I really like Dr. Pepper and other cherry-flavored colas. Other than that, I fucking love ciders, holy shit. It's like a juice, but with yummy, delicious fucking alcohol. Yes. The problem with ciders is that they make my tummy hurt a little bit, so I can't drink them all the time. But, you know, it's alcohol, so it's good that I can't drink it all the time. Mr. Bog asks, what is your most greatest accomplishment? It can be with IRL stuff before or after many of your albums released, or it can just be album stuff. Honest to God, probably the fact that I managed to get a rated level in Geometry Dash. I hold that in very high regard. Woodcrawler asks, will you do more GD streams? Definitely. When, I have no clue, but I'll probably do some level building streams when I feel like it. Translating when I feel like it, probably like several months away, maybe. Mr. Boulder asks, what are your thoughts on Deltarune? I never played it. I did go through like half of Undertale some months ago, so I might get to it soon-ish. Sar asks, what is your favorite domestic cat breed? I mean, I feel like they're all the same. I haven't actually owned a cat, so maybe they do have different personalities based on breed, but just going off of appearance, I don't know, tuxedo cats are pretty stylish. Dashtime811 asks, what's your first easy demon? I do not remember. It was either the Nightmare, wow what a shocker, or Clubstep or TOE2. Funny thing about that was that back when I was starting with GD, the community was still in hot discussion about OMG TOE2 is actually easier than Clubstep. So it could have been either of the two, and I genuinely don't remember which one it was. The Remembered has a couple of questions. What was your inspiration for making YouTube videos and or Caretaker fan projects? My inspiration for making YouTube videos way back then when I started at age way too fucking young was, well, I don't even remember. The first YouTuber I watched was this one Czech YouTuber whose video a friend recommended to me. Then there was another Czech YouTuber who was on that silly top 5 content mill grind set of the 2010s. And after that there was a bunch of content mill YouTubers about fucking Eyes the Horror Game and the Granny/Slendrina series. that was a bit of a weird kid. Anyway, it wasn't anyone specifically, just discovering the concept of YouTube as a whole. What would you do if you hit 10,000 subscribers? Another Q&A video? Maybe? I have no idea. Would you turn any of the review sheets of FPs you made public or even into videos? They are public, you just have to find where I posted them in the various Caretaker fan project servers. Like, I have a forum thread for them in FP Cord, for instance. In terms of videos, it does cross my mind from time to time, but it feels like too much work. But there is one FP that I have reviewed that I do intend to make a video on, and I've started with the script, but who knows when that will happen. Can you make your subscriber count history public, as in what your sub count was for the first day of each month? I don't know how to do that, and I don't care enough to figure it out. Mr. Boulder asks, what is your favorite track from the Geometry Dash soundtrack? Dash, probably. The hilarious side effect of how the game handles its updates, or lack thereof, is that Dash is the only song out of the main levels that isn't, oh, you know, 9+ fucking years old. Some of the people watching this video could be younger than those songs. Think about that. Aside from Dash, DJVI songs are nostalgic for me, but not particularly interesting. The most interesting song outside of Dash is probably Clutterfunk. It has a lot of variety. Dopanda130 asks, what do you think of cheese? Okay, so cheese is one of those things that I always kind of stayed away from when I was a kid, and nowadays I'm still a little mixed on it. People make cheese out to be the end-all, be-all of food and the best thing ever, but obviously there's a wide range to it. Depending on what cheese we're talking about, it can range anywhere from disgusting and inedible, like those moldy cheeses, bland and nearly flavorless, like most store-bought cheese, or actually somehow fucking delicious, like this one cheese I had at a factory tour in Switzerland. So overall, I'm a bit careful around cheese as a concept, but sometimes it pleasantly surprises me. Mr. Boulder asks, what is the hardest GD level you've played? Played as in actually sunk attempts into it with intent to eventually beat it, Congregation. It would be pretty funny to beat it eventually, I think. Nutsley asks, Yaoi or Yuri, and Toxic or Fluff for whichever you pick. I am a straight man, so therefore it is unquestionably Yuri. No strong opinion on Fluff versus Toxic. I think I lean a bit more towards Fluff because it's more realistic and heartfelt, but I won't deny that Toxic can be fun. Why am I speaking like I have experience with this? I promise to you guys I do not read Yuri in my free time. Rasmus Pasm has 6 questions. Number 1, how do you pronounce your name? Zenix. Zenny also works for short, but the X was originally intended to be part of it. Number 2, what is your favorite APANPN track? What is your least favorite? My favorite is J6, T1, or U1, and my least favorite is, I don't know, maybe like A8. Number 3, out of all your old projects, Maui OG, Satiotl, Idiots, etc., which is your favorite? I don't really know. I kind of hate all of them. Oddly, I think I have the most fondness for the very first one, Everywhere at the End of Geometry Dash. It being made in a video editor led to some relatively fun experimentation on my part. Also, I literally contacted this random guy who made a MIDI piano cover of Stay Inside Me, and then had them alter it to a calmer, more somber tone that would fit the TL. Shout out to Daniel R1. I still see you in my Discord's friends list and remember what an odd but wholesome interaction that was. Number 4. If you had to live in the world of one video game, what would it be? I mean, it's not a video game. Technically, it's a video game in universe, but my top answer would probably be The Amazing Digital Circus. It's funny because the whole idea behind the show is how much they hate it there, but personally, being in a world where you can make anything happen and you can't die, you're just confined to an endless state of bliss when you lose your mind, I don't know, to me that sounds like paradise. Alive or dead, which celebrity would you like to spend a day with? It's probably between Markiplier and Technoblade, though honestly, spending a day with any celebrity sounds kind of awkward, so I'm not sure if I'd want to do that. Number 6, are you religious? I'm agnostic. I think I'm using that word right. Basically what that means is that I don't follow any specific religion, but I don't deny the existence of a god in some form. Mr. Boulder asks, what's your most and least favorite TAD character? My favorite might actually be Kane, decidedly so if we consider Bubble as a part of him. Kane is funny, but also really relatable and, in my opinion at least, very likable and sympathetic. My least favorite is probably Ragatha, just because she feels a bit shafted in the writing, and I find her by far the least entertaining out of the entire cast. The Satyr asks a lot of questions, so I'm only going to answer some of them. What got you into fan projects? It was that godforsaken Digital Saloon video that highlights Idiot with voices and APMC. Incredible that I stuck around with that as my introduction. Have you broken a bone? Technically I have not. I've only chipped a couple of bones. Basically that means the fracture didn't go all the way through, so my bone didn't actually break in two. Obviously it still hurt though, and they had to put it in like a cast and everything. The first time it was my right hand thumb, which I managed to crush under my own ass while skiing. The other time it was my right forearm, which I broke after slipping on a random patch of hyper slippery ice. Moral of the story, winter is fucking dangerous, man. Is there any YouTube content that you wish you could do more of? I'm not sure. Making videos in general is time consuming as all hell, and I'm not sure I'm quite cut out for it. But I guess like video essays / reviews could be fun. Do you prefer orange juice with or without pulp? 100% without pulp. I'm drinking orange juice because I want to drink the orange. If I wanted the pulp, I would just eat the orange normally. Termiansfinity asks, alright, what introduced you to Vivid Stasis? I'm so glad you asked. It was Orson XD. When he visited me in August of 2025, he downloaded Quaver on my PC to flex his rhythm gaming skills, and I went, "Is it possible to learn this power?" To which he pointed me to Vivid Stasis. I think that was the best thing that could have happened to me. What would you do if when you okay so he said yes would go? I think if I did have to go and would, then maybe he would might do and is, or something maybe not. So, in conclusion, 20. Epos Nephilo asks, do you think "I'm gonna kill you alive" is a grammatically correct sentence? Grammatically, the sentence is saying that it will carry out the complete act of killing you, including you dying, while you are alive. So my answer is yesn't. Jork Donkler asks, how will this affect the overpopulation in Bangladesh? This video will kill 7 million people. And Bonia asks, does APANPN affect LeBron's legacy? With the new compilation of vines that plays in year 1, the LeBron James kid is actually included, so yes it does. LeBron James will become more important in history than the Bronze Age, more popular with elementary schoolers than cool math games, more notorious than the volcano in Pompeii, and certainly more well known than the Bombay. Mr. Boulder asks, what's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative. How do you get the idea? I just try to think creatively. Say take a... Mr. Boulder asks, what is 134 divided by 2? 69 minus 21 divided by 420 times 1 plus 3 times 3 plus 7. You're welcome. Octime asks, are you purple? Yeah, I love being purple! Mr. Boulder asks, address the allegations. Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. A lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. It doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you. Right? You guys are having fun? All aboard the toxic gossip train, chugging down the tracks of misinformation. Toxic gossip train, you got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic gossip train, tie me to the tracks and harass me for my past. These rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash, but hey, at least you're having fun.